Okay, so in this video, I'll show you exactly how to set up an LLC from start to finish using Northwest Registered Agent. This video is exactly what I wish I had around 8 years ago when I started my LLC, and I had to go through tons of articles online trying to find the best LLC formation service and also how to set everything up. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. Okay, so to get to the Northwest sign-up page, go ahead and click on the first link down below in the description, or you can go to joshburnstech.com/Northwest. So let's go ahead and go there now. And that will take you to this page here. So I want to let you know really quick that if you do decide to use my affiliate link down below in the description, that does help support my channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't change what you pay for Northwest, but it does help support my channel and the content that I create, which I sincerely appreciate. And I just want to let you know that. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is click this button right here that says, let's get you started. Okay, so now we can start creating the LLC. So on the first tab here, we need to fill out some order information. So first off, what type of business would you like to start? My business is actually a single member LLC. I don't have any members besides myself. Probably 99% of you are going to select this option here for LLC. There are two other options here. One is corporation. So for example, you could create an LLC with S-Corp taxation. Now that's can be beneficial if your business is making at least $60,000 a year or more, because it can help you save some money on self-employment taxes. That's the main reason to do it. Now, there's a lot more involved with it because you have to, be really strict with your bookkeeping, payroll, compliance, all that stuff. I actually do that myself, but I'm using a service which is basically a team of CPAs to do all of that for me. Now, I'll tell you more about that later in the video. Okay, so now we need to select the state in which our business is being formed in. So for me, I live in Kentucky. That's where I operate my business and do all of my business things. So now I'm going to select this drop down here, and we need to find Kentucky. So here we go right here. And as you can see, the order summary changed over here. So if we scroll down, we can see some pricing that's already being calculated. So the basic package is $39. That's what you're going to pay as the basic package for Northwest whenever you create an LLC. It's a flat rate of $39, which is really great. And the other thing we have here is the Kentucky state filing fee, which is $40. Now that's actually really cheap because I went through most states to see what the filing fee is for each state, and some of them can be pretty high. If we select this here and go up to Alabama, I think Alabama's is kind of high. Yeah, you can see Alabama is $236. The pricing is going to depend on your state, no matter what service you use, no matter what you do when trying to create an LLC. You can't get around that filing fee. It's something you have to pay. So for Kentucky, I have one option here. It's the standard filing, and it's processed in 1 day, which is really good. And Northwest also gives you 1 free year of the registered agent service. Now, after the first year, it's going to be $125 a year, and I've compared that price against all other LLC formation services, and it's really competitive and one of the best prices that you're going to get. Okay, now the last thing on this page here is the BOI Report Compliance. This is a new federal requirement, like you have to do this, and in most cases, like you can see here, you have 30 days to get this done, and you can actually do it yourself. It's, completely free if you do it yourself. However, if you're not comfortable doing it yourself and you want someone to do it for you the right way, then you can simply pay $25 and Northwest is going to do it for you. So if I was starting a new LLC today myself, I would probably go ahead and pay them to do it for me if I had no knowledge of how to do it myself, because it's really cheap and it's way cheaper than most other LLC formation services to have them do it for you. So we're going to leave that selected right here. Okay, so everything looks good here, so let's go ahead and go to the next tab. Okay, so on this screen here, we need to fill out our company details. So the first obvious thing we need to do is list our company name. So for me, I'm going to use my business, which is Josh Burns Tech. So that's going to end up being Josh Burns Tech LLC. So if you don't have a business name yet, that's step number 1. You need to get a business name, make sure it's not being used by another company. There's websites you can go to, like for your state, to search for business entities, and if they're being, already used, go ahead and put your company name right here. Okay, so the next option here, if you have a lawyer or an attorney that you work with and you've worked with in the past, You can select this option here and change it to yes if you would like a copy of any lawsuits. Hopefully you never have one. But if for some reason you're involved in some type of legal issue or lawsuit, you can select this option here, change it to yes, and then you could basically list your attorney's email address. So if Northwest is notified of any lawsuits, they're going to take that information and send it to your attorney. So we'll go ahead and just leave that selected no for now. And next up, we need to list our business purpose. You can actually simply type in 1 or 2 sentences here describing your business and the purpose of it. You also have an option to use a generic business purpose if you don't want to do that. For my business, I've already put this in here before, so we're going to go ahead and delete this. And now I'm going to paste in my business purpose, which is simply providing SQL Server database administration consulting services and content creation. Those are the 2 main pillars of my business and how I make money. Okay, so next up, really important, this is the registered agent portion. This part here is the address that you want on record with the state. This is going to be public, so that's important to remember. You can use Northwest, which again, I definitely recommend that you do that, or you can put your own address here, like your home address. Now, for me personally, I don't want my home address on the public internet for my LLC, so that's why I would recommend using Northwest right here. Okay, so everything looks good to me here, and we can go ahead and move on to the next tab. Okay, so now we need to choose our management type. So for the majority of you, you're probably going to select this option here, which says member managed. So member managed is really good for single member LLCs, where you have, one person that's making pretty much all the decisions. Now, if your LLC is being formed with more than one member, then you might want to change this here to manager managed. Now, basically the difference here is manager managed can be beneficial if you have a member that wants to be more hands-off and not involved with, daily decisions and things like that as well, like daily operations. But for most of you, especially if you're a single member LLC like I am, this is what you want to select here. And if you want to see a more descriptive detail of what these mean, you can select this button right here. And then it goes into way more detail about which one that you should choose. And then down here, you just need to type in the information about your members. So we'll put my name in here. And now for the address to record with the state, again, I want to use Northwest as my registered agent address. So this looks good here, and we can move on to the next tab. Okay, so here you simply need to enter your contact details. I'm going to go ahead and put my name in here, phone number, address, and then go on to the next tab. Okay, now on the account tab, very simple. Simply put in your email address and a password. Definitely make sure the password is extremely strong. Like, make it a unique password. It's not something that you use for every one of your accounts. I hope you're not doing that. And once you have this information here entered, go ahead and click continue. Okay, so next, Northwest offers something called a business identity package. Now, this comes with a lot of different things. You can see here that you get a domain name registration for 1 year. So if I was starting my business today and I also wanted to register a domain name for it, like joshburnstech.com, I could use Northwest to do that for me. You also get a website hosted by Northwest, and I think they build you a simple 3-page website that has like a home page, an about page, and a contact page. I personally recommend and use hostinger.com. I'll put a link to them down below in the description. I've done a lot of videos on Hostinger, but that's the main key focus of their business. They're a web hosting company, which is why I use them, because they have way more features. They put a lot more time into, developing things like that as well. If you are someone that wants everything in one place, then you can use Northwest to do those things for you. However, there are better options, and that's why I recommend Hostinger. And then we have SSL security for your website. So these first 3 items here are all related to a website. And then next you have business email addresses. So this is something I would definitely recommend that you do. And it's basically getting an email address with your domain. So for me, that would be, my email address could be something like josh@joshburnstech.com. That would be an example. However, if you decide to use a web hosting service like Hostinger, who I mentioned, you can set your business email up with them. You don't have to use Northwest. But again, if you like having everything in one place, then it could be beneficial to use that service here. And then last, you have business phone number and service. So if you want to get a business phone number that clients or people that are interested in your service or product can call, and you don't want that to be your personal phone number, your cell phone number, then you can use this service here that will basically give you a custom phone number for your business. So if you're interested in this package here, you get it free for 90 days. And then after the 90 days are up, they're going to be $9 a month for each service. So you have 5 different services. That's going to cost you about $45 a month. Now, you don't have to select every one of them. Let's say, for example, I really want to use the business email service here and maybe the business phone number as well. What I can do is I can uncheck this here, and then I can come down here and select what I want. So I can do business email and then phone service. And then I'm only going to have to pay $18 a month instead of $45 a month. And you can actually see that if you click on the question mark beside of each service, it's going to tell you here that it's free for 90 days, and then it's going to be $9 a month after that. So we'll go ahead and just leave these two selected here and then go to the next tab. Now we have some optional items. Now this first one, I highly recommend that you use Northwest to get it for you. This is going to be your tax ID, which is basically the social security number for your business. That's how you can think of it. As soon as you have a tax ID or EIN, I strongly recommend that you open a business bank account, because as soon as possible, you need to separate your personal transactions from your business transactions. You don't want those commingled in the same bank account. That can create a lot of issues for you. If you were to ever get sued, the attorney on the opposing side could do something that's called piercing the corporate veil, which means they could come after your personal items like your personal bank account, your personal car, your personal home. It's really extremely important that you have those two things separated, and that's why I recommend getting a business bank account and opening one. So whenever you open a business bank account, no matter who it's with, you have to give them your tax ID or EIN. So we're going to leave that option selected here. Now, there's a few other options here. This one right here, S-Corp election with the IRS. Now, if you have an accountant that you work with, a CPA, that can help you with things like bookkeeping, payroll, compliance, then you might want to look into this here. But, if you want to do S-Corp election, it's going to change a lot of things about your business. You're going to have to be a lot more strict. Like I said, bookkeeping, payroll, compliance, those things are not things I want to handle personally myself. Now, I am doing S-Corp election now. It's not something I did when I first started my LLC, but it's something I started doing this year, and I'm using a service for that. It's called collective.com. I've done a complete tutorial on Collective, which is on my channel, and you can watch it if that's something you're interested in. Now, again, it is recommended that you make at least $60,000 a year or more, because, once you're past that threshold, you might be able to save some money on self-employment taxes. Now, I'm not a CPA by any means. This is something I work directly with Collective on and their team of CPAs. So for the majority of you, you're probably not going to select this option here. So we'll leave it unchecked, and we won't select either one of these as well. And then we can go ahead and click continue. Okay, all we need to do now is enter our payment information, and that's it. It's really that simple. So to form my LLC in Kentucky, it's going to be $154. Now, I did add some things on here. We added on the BOI Report Compliance, and we also added on the tax ID or EIN. Now, if we didn't add those two things on here, then it would only be the Kentucky processing fee of $40 and then the basic package of $39, and that's it. And then the business email and phone service, you don't have to use those. If you do, you get them free for 90 days, and then it's going to be, again, $9 a month for each of them. And then after you pay to form your LLC, Northwest will send you some emails about getting logged into your account on Northwest. And once your LLC is formed and filed with your state, you'll be able to access everything online in your account, like your articles of organization, which is really important. You'll be able to see your tax ID or EIN there as well. And then all other documents that are related to your LLC, you'll be able to access online in your account anytime you want. And if you have any questions or need any help, Northwest has amazing customer support. They're actually the only LLC formation service that, has all their support staff in the US. They don't outsource it anywhere. They are completely in the US. They have the best customer service out of every LLC formation service that I've looked into myself. And you can find their phone number on pretty much every page of their website. So if we scroll down here, right here, questions, call this number, and you can talk to someone that works for Northwest in the US. And if you have any questions about what I covered in this video, then drop a comment down below and I will try to help you as best as I can. As always, thank you so much for being here. I sincerely appreciate all your support. It means the world to me. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.